Obviously, growing up, you want to be a part of a World Cup team. It's like all of our dreams, but it was not in my vision board. I knew I wanted to work hard and like give myself the best possible chance. The team was doing well, and that's kind of, I think, what helped me get there, but I did not see it coming, that's for sure.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Snacks, delivered by Grubhub. I'm Sam Mewis.
And I'm Lynn Williams, and this is a show about women's soccer, but it's also about your cute face.
My cute face. I feel like I'm wearing blue and it makes my eyes look blue, and so I look like a little doll.
I'd agree. I think it's
Thank
so
you.
cute.
If you're just listening to this on audio, too bad for you because I look cute today. And so does Lynn with her mustard yellow hotel backdrop.
Adorable. Sam, you should get, speaking of clothes though, you should get this. I got 4 of these mock turtlenecks. Nike.
Oh, are they on Nike Elite right now?
Yeah.
I will do. Are they croppy?
No, they're all the way down to here.
I feel like that's going to look super interesting on me.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like I give off a little bit of a librarian vibe so that if I'm wearing like a mock neck, full length, people are going to be like, where are the books, ma'am?
But you can layer. You can like put something on. Whatever. We're getting carried away and we need to move on, but you can layer it.
Here's what we're doing today on the podcast. Quarterfinal recap.
Spoiler alert. Go Bats. Woo!
We also talk with Savannah DeMelo and look at the upcoming U.S. Women's National Team camp. And we're going to hit that snacks hotline hard today. But before we get to all that, Lynn, you just got into camp. You guys won your game.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm sleepy, but it's okay. We just keep going. Me, Christy, and Kelly keep saying, we're on a soccer bender, mate.
I love that.
Yeah, that's my Australian accent. I don't know if it was good, but
I think it was pretty good. I knew what you were getting at.
Yeah, I'm on a soccer bender right now. We went from North Carolina and then I'm in Utah. We'll go to San Diego and then I'll fly to Portland and I'll go there. So I'm on a bender.
Oh my goodness. How is your body feeling?
It's good. It's good.
Crazy.
I think, yeah, I mean, it's like match day -2 right now. And that's when like the soreness gets the worst. But like by tomorrow, I'll be fine.
You mean match day +2 from your Gotham game?
That's what I meant. +2 and also totally -2.
OMG. Okay, well, we're going to hear more about your game and we're going to hear more about camp. But let's start with the other game. So we had 2 very close quarterfinals of the NWSL. Yeah. Let's start with the first one, Angel City and OL. That was on Friday, last week.
I felt like Angel City was coming in hot in that game. They were. I was like, they're going to get a goal, but unfortunately they did not.
OL's defense did a great job, limited Angel City to just 6 goal-scoring opportunities. Sonnet was all over the place. She did awesome. And Lou Barnes had literally 100% pass accuracy on 53 passes, which is an NWSL record. Sick job holding it down from the back by OL. OL did have more opportunities.
Yep. And then in the 87th minute, a goal from Veronica Lasco put the OL up 1-0. So Now the Rain's going to go on and play San Diego November 5th.
Yeah, I wanted to say about Veronica Lasco's goal, her delivery, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that could be the delivery of the week. But we'll have to wait a few minutes to see what the actual delivery of the week was. It was an incredible pass and an incredible finish by OL. And they all were just like obviously so pumped that it went in because it was in the 87th minute. It was like the last waning minutes of the game. They won.
I know.
So that was like a really fun goal to see and to see them celebrate. It was exciting.
Yeah, I also thought like Veronica Lasco put her body on the line for that goal. Like she was kind of sandwiched. She squashed 2 players to get to the ball, but she was just going for it.
Gotta do it.
So you gotta do it.
So it is not Pinoe's last game. Pinoe will be moving on, like we just said. OL will be playing San Diego. And then we get to your game.
Go Batters. We won.
Talk us through it.
Okay, let me remember. I know I feel like I've been on a whirlwind, but first of all, I felt like we matched up pretty well against North Carolina. Delaney had a goal at the end of the first half. She was able to slot it home. She toe poked it.
I know.
I was like,
well, it was such a
banger.
It was a toe poke banger. Literally, can we coin that term for her because it was so sick?
Yeah.
It was, you know, like I feel like that happens all the time where the defense gets kind of like narrowed because the ball has been played around the middle of the box a bunch. And she was so wide open, but you almost thought she was going to like do that kind of cross on the ground behind the back line.
Yeah.
And it's almost like she took everybody by surprise when she just toe poked it and it was on frame and it was low and it was like such a great shot, but it was like a surprise finish kind of.
Yeah, it was a surprise to me. I was like, what?
I also thought her touch was borderline too long, that it almost made, I think Emily Fox was guarding her, and it almost made her be like, oh, like I almost, at the last second, she kind of stepped back because I think she was trying to like block across. And then Delaney just toe poked that sucker right in there.
I know, she got us all. And it's her first goal. First goal in what a clutch goal. Toe poke banger.
I know, that was like really cool. I was really excited for you guys. You guys had such a great start to the game. Honestly, I felt like you especially looked fast and were chasing back on defense. And I was like, freaking go, Lynn. I felt like you just like, you were all over the place. A bunch of your teammates were all over the place. It was really fun, a fun game to watch. What was it like at halftime when you guys went in up 1-0?
Yeah, I think that we knew that we were in control at that moment, but we also know that, you know, North Carolina was able to come back in other games. So it was just about raising our level and knowing that they were going to either change something or going to at some point have to start throwing numbers forward. So hopefully that left space in behind for us. So we just talked about like making sure we're taking care of the ball. And if at this moment, if we get out with a clean sheet, that means we've won the game. So like stay focused. It's not over. And I honestly think that our defense did a great job. Obviously North Carolina like came back out and had a couple of chances, but I feel like that's in every game. Like you're going to have to ride the storm sometimes. And we just were so calm. I thought like Krieger played amazing. So did Maitana Lopez. I was like really proud of us. We were all over the place.
You guys did great. I did feel like North Carolina, they had some like isolated attacks and like obviously they looked dangerous. Like you literally can never ever sleep on North Carolina, but I did feel like they were missing Caroline to kind of have that final put together attack that like resulted in a goal. And so I felt for them, obviously, that they had just lost her and obviously feel so bad for Caroline for her injury and send her the best. But your defense did such a great job. Do you feel like there were any big changes from you guys' previous game that you had kind of a better defensive performance?
I want to just piggyback off of what you said about Caroline. Like that was obviously a huge loss for them. When she wasn't there, I think in the Challenge Cup, they were scoring like 6 goals on people. So sometimes when like your best person isn't there, like you raise, every single person like raises the level. And so going into this game, we obviously knew she wasn't going to be playing. So we were just like, okay, we have to be so focused on every single person. There was times in the game too where I was like, what on earth is North Carolina doing? Like, stop doing that. It's so difficult to defend. Like the spaces they would find, like their midfield is so good. So it was so frustrating.
They were combining well too. I think sometimes like up the flanks, they had like good 2v1s. Like I saw Ryan Williams and Emily Fox doing like 2v1s. And I was like, you guys. Whoa.
I know Ryan 2v1 me like 3 times. And I was like, can you stop? Like, I don't know how to stop this, but can you also stop? I just think that we went into it just knowing we had to be focused and enjoying the moment. Marley said something to me before the game that I like shared with the group before the game, which was just, he was like, life is too short to be worried about things. So just enjoy every moment, like go out and enjoy this. And I think that when our team is playing with joy and every team is playing with joy, like you play your best soccer. So I was just like, let's go out there and just enjoy this. Like, obviously we need to be focused and turned on, but don't get so tight. Like, let's have fun. Like Delaney poked the ball in with her toe. Like that is so sick. You know what I mean? So
I know.
I think we were just like, yeah, let's go out there and just have some fun.
Well, Lynn, you know what? I hinted at this earlier. I hinted that the goal in the OL game might be the delivery of the week, but alas, it was not. It is time now for the delivery of the week, delivered by Grubhub. In the 91st minute, a long pass forward from Jenna Neiswanger found North Carolina defender Kaylee Kurtz, but Lynn Williams, our girl, was not having it. You literally said, give me that ball. You stole it from KK. You dribbled forward. And then just when it was kind of like, I started being like, Lynn, don't pass. You have to shoot. You literally perfectly laid it on a platter to Yasmin Ryan, who finished it right off the post and in. Such a great finish, but literally such an incredible pass. And it kind of sealed the deal for you guys. Your first ever playoff win. Gotham's first ever playoff win. The delivery of the week, of course, goes to Lynn Williams. Lynn, how do you feel about it?
Thank you so much. I want you to send me a medal. I want a delivery of the week medal.
Okay. I think Grubhub could probably send you something.
What I thought about it was I just wanted to win so bad, and everybody keeps saying, Lynn, you should have shot, but like on the field, it didn't look like I had a angle to do it. And I saw Yasmin sprinting, so I was like, I'm going to just hopefully she can tap this in.
I mean, that's why you're out there, Lynn, and nobody else is out there. You know what I mean? That's why you're in that position making those decisions, stealing that ball.
Thank you.
Passing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was very sick. I was very excited for you. Congrats on your award.
Thank you. Okay, well, that's the delivery of the week. Me, just kidding. Satisfy every craving with delicious food delivery from Grubhub. All right, so now we're gonna go on to freaking play more games, but it's amazing because both Krieger and Pinoe aren't done yet.
I know. It's so fun to watch. I saw a poll on Twitter today that was like, what do you want the final matchup to be? And like everybody voted Gotham OL because I think everybody just wants to see them get to play in every game possible.
I know.
You guys are advancing. You'll play Portland on Sunday, November 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern. How are you personally going to prepare for that game, knowing you're in camp right now? You have 2 games with the national team. There are several Thorns players in there with you. Like, how are you thinking about your next couple of weeks?
Oh, I'll just like put some stuff in their food and give them an upset stomach. That's what I'll do. No, just kidding. Well, I think that like right now in this moment, we've talked about this, but you have to be able to compartmentalize. So that was such an amazing game that we played for Gotham, but now I need to focus and like change my focus to the national team. And then the second the camp's over, I can start thinking about our playoff game and we'll have a week leading up into that. But like at this moment in time, I'm not necessarily thinking about playoffs because then that means I'm not in this moment. So ask me later.
Okay, so you're in camp. You guys have 2 games. How are you feeling about camp?
I'm excited. I think that these will be 2 hard games. Like I said before, we're at altitude. So that's going to be a battle in itself. I'm going to be battling with myself there.
Breathe, Lynn, breathe.
I know, literally. I'm feeling like a deep breath. But I'm excited. I think that last camp, it was a good step in the right direction, and we just need to continue to build off of that. We obviously have so many new faces, a very young team, which I'm super excited to see some people hopefully get their first caps. Like, who knows what's going to go on. I'm just happy to be here. I think that like you can never take a camp for granted. I saw this like interview between Becky and Naomi. It was like very cute about Becky's number because Naomi wore it. Did you see that?
Yeah. Can you tell us about it though?
Naomi wore Becky's number 4 at the World Cup. And Becky said something like, "It's not my number. We're just renting them." And Naomi was like, "Well, it is your number. Like you can have it back." But I just felt like that was like such a good reminder and just like a cute moment between the two of them. But she's so right. Like we're just renting space here, and like it's a long season and it's a long year, and sometimes you can say like, I'm so exhausted, I want to sit down, like all the things like as the year goes on. But just to be where you are in the moment, like I keep having to tell myself like to stop wishing the time away, just enjoy where you are. And also like you never know how long you're going to be here, so just enjoy the moment. So I'm really excited to be here. Like, I don't know what's going to go on, like, moving forward. Obviously, we're getting a new coach and stuff, but I'm just excited to see where this group's going to go, how we're going to build off last camp, what we're going to do next camp, all of the things.
I'm so excited to watch. I'm excited for you. The games are going to be super fun. Their games are on, this is coming
HBO
out
Max.
on Thursday?
The game is on the 26th.
So the game's tonight, everybody, and also on
the 29th.
Okay, Lynn. Well, good luck in your games. Speaking of your teammates at camp.
Up next, we have Savannah DeMelo, so don't move.
State Farm is a proud sponsor of Snacks and a proud supporter of women's soccer.
State Farm believes women's sports deserve so much more attention and airtime. That's why we're committed to ensuring coverage for all women's sports all year round.
Thanks to supporters like you listening to podcasts like this, women's sports are going to continue growing, thriving, and capturing more and more fans for years to come.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Okay, we are now joined by our friend, star of the USWNT national team and Racing Louisville midfielder, Savannah DeMelo. Hello! Welcome to
Hi,
Snacks.
guys. Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you, Sav. Congratulations on all. Can I call you Sav?
Yes, please
Just
call me Sav.
assuming that I'm your best friend ever. Congratulations on all your success this year. We're so excited for you. It was so fun talking about you on Snacks when you made the World Cup team and like how exciting that must have been. We're huge fans, as you know. We just wanted to start with, you had your first cap in June at the send-off game, and then you made the World Cup team, started 2 out of 4 of the matches. Did you like manifest this? Like, was this on your vision board for 2023? Like, how?
Yeah, like what a whirlwind of a time.
Yeah, it was Definitely like something I had always wanted. Like obviously growing up, you want to be a part of a World Cup team. It's like all of our dreams, but I wasn't getting called into camps. So it was not in my vision board. I knew I wanted to work hard and like give myself the best possible chance. But no, definitely just with the help of my teammates, and the team was doing well. And that's kind of, I think, what helped me get there. But I did not see it coming, that's for sure.
Was it like ever on your radar that you were going to get a call, or was like the call that day like a complete surprise? Like how did that come about?
Well, Vlatko had talked to me, like, I think it was after we played Seattle, which was our second game of the season. So it was like March, early March, late April, or yeah, early March. And he was like, oh, you're doing really well. And, there's no camps really coming up. So club is going to be super important. So he's like, you're not going to get called into the April camp, but like, we just want to keep seeing you improve in club. So I kind of had been hearing from him after that, like weekly about my club game. So kind of, and then obviously Ryan's our manager here. And he was like, oh, you know what? Like you're on Vlatko's radar, like just keep doing your thing. So it wasn't like a complete shock, but still, like the odds were not in my favor. So when he called me and said I made the team, I was really in shock.
Was that more stressful though when Ryan would be like, oh, you're on his radar? Because sometimes I feel like when you don't know that they're there, you can just like play freely and you're like, whatever happens, happens. But the moment they said that, were you like, ugh? Because it didn't look like that at all.
No, I for sure was like, I definitely was like, oh my gosh, like I have eyes on me now. But I think I just wanted to like control each game. So I would just go and like have fun in the game. But it definitely was a little more stressful when I did like get that feedback. And obviously Vlatko had been telling me things he wanted me to work on. So then I'm like, oh, I want to make sure I'm like doing that in the game while also implementing what my team needs from me. So it's like kind of that balance.
That's like, I think one of the hardest parts about balancing both is, the national team is always watching. So you're like trying to play the position the way they played at the national team, but then you just are trying to help your club team win. And maybe it's a different formation or it's a little bit different tactically, but national team players are always trying to do both, which I find like so interesting. Lynn, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, same. I think that it's so, and that's kind of how I felt like when we were in North Carolina, Sam. Like we played with a 2 front, but then the national team was a 3 front. So I was like, how on earth am I gonna translate this double 9s to now a 7 and 11? Like I feel like I had a hard time doing that and adjusting. You seem to do it fine.
Well, I feel like also for me, like I play the attacking, like I'm an attacking mid, but players who have to like play different positions.
Yeah.
I think that's just like another level of like, oh, you're an outside back on national team, but like you're a midfielder in club. Like I think that's also just super hard.
I also think that like the national team is so like specific and detail oriented that it's even different if you play like the 7 versus the 11, because you're like, I'm missing a midfielder on my side, or like the way I like get the ball. And same with like outside backs, if you're like the right versus the left.
Well, the midfield's the same. I mean, I haven't been in with the national team in a long time, but my experience with the national team was that I, as a midfielder, had to be very disciplined in that pocket between the other team's midfield and back line. And in club, I never really had to be disciplined in doing that. No matter where I was playing, I was freer to go and get the ball down low or make a run in behind. And so learning that like discipline in that pocket, which I really learned in 2019, like around that time of the World Cup from Tony Gustafsson, who was the assistant coach, was so hard because I felt like I wasn't running enough.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like with my club, I have like a lot of freedom to go get the ball, like you said.
Yeah.
Like I go low or then I go high, or I stay on the left, or but national team is very specific about like left-sided midfielder, right-sided, like attacking mid, like doing specific things.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Sav, so when you made the World Cup team and then and up until the first game, there must have been some trainings that you were like, oh my God, like I'm going to start. And like how... Like, what was going through your mind?
So we had the send-off game, and then we went to New Zealand, and we played the Philippines. We had like a scrimmage with the Philippines, and I think that was the last session where like I was not with the starting team. And then we had a day off, and then the next training session after that, he had come up to me. He's like, oh, we're going to put you with the starting group. And I was like, oh, for what reason? And he's like, well, we're going to start you against Vietnam. And I'm like, Oh, okay. And then like I remember as soon as I went on that team, like Lindsay came up to me and she was like, looked at me, she was like, you totally deserve this. Like, don't think anything of it. And that like gave me so much confidence. Just like I respect her so much as a player
Yeah.
and a person. So her saying that to me like really like settled my nerves. But yeah, that was like then we had like 3 more training sessions and then it was the game. So
I know. I was going to say, we played the Philippines when there was like, what was it, 6 days before our
it
first
wasn't
game?
even a week.
Yeah, it wasn't even a week. So it was like a pretty quick turnaround of like to get your mind ready to start. Because I think that that's something that people don't talk. Obviously, you're like preparing for the game. Everybody's like, I'm ready, I'm ready, ready.
Yeah.
But like when you know your role of like, I'm not a starter, to switch your brain to like, oh, just kidding, like I'm a starter now.
For sure. It was like a whole mentality shift.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the hardest part.
Yeah. How did you do that? Like, was it like did you take a day? Did you like, how did you get your mind around like the fact that you're like, okay, he didn't just say this to me, but I am actually going to be starting this game?
It's kind of like, because I don't think like anything could prepare me for it. So I literally was just taking it day by day. And I think for me, the more I was like becoming familiar with like our formation and like set pieces, it like gave me more confidence to like, okay, I'm prepared for this. Because I think when I first came to camp, I knew nothing. Like the way we pressed, like our set pieces are so like detail oriented. So I think I was like a little shocked. But then once I became like more knowledgeable in the system and like what we do, I felt a lot more confident mentally too.
Yeah, I like it's like so incredible that you not only like just did that and survived it, but you like did so great. You were like,
thank you.
Honestly, like I was live streaming watching the games and you honestly did so great, which thinking about all the years of like sitting on the bench and like not dressing for games and like playing other positions at random camps because I was like the last person on the roster, like those are what my experience allowed me to like build myself up to be able to play in a World Cup. And to see how incredible you did without having that same experience as me. I know everybody's experience is different, but like it really was so incredible and
Thank you.
So impressive. I know you mentioned Lindsay was really helpful to you on the team. Who else were you close with during this process, both on the team and like in your personal life?
I honestly, I'm not just saying this, but like I think we had such a good group and like it never really felt like we were disconnected in any way. Like when I got to the team, like even like me and Lynn sit next to each other in like films and meetings and like right away like was talking to me, like Rose talked to me, like every player like talked to me. So I just felt so included within the team like so quickly. And I think that made me feel super comfortable. And then obviously Emily Fox was like on my team here in Louisville and we've known each other since we were 14. So it was nice
I
having
didn't know
her.
that.
Yeah, we were on like the U15 national team together and we went to like both our 20s together. So like having her there was like she's like one of my best friends. So it was very comfortable having her there. But all the girls were so great. I think I had like multiple conversations with everyone throughout the whole World Cup.
Yeah, so I felt like you transitioned so well, not just like on the field, but like socially as well. Like you were just such an easy person to like connect with and talk to. I know that like those environments can feel so daunting sometimes, but just like the way you handled it, like nobody would know if you were going through something at all. Like even when you step on the field sometimes, like it's easy to just like almost hide from the ball, but you always were just like, let me get it, let me try, like even if I'm failing or whatnot. Like have you always had that confidence, or is that something that you've learned?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something I learned because I also feel like I know it's super hard, but the more like I can get on the ball and like even just like play a simple pass, like the more my confidence grows within a game. So that's like what like my dad was my coach growing up my whole life and he's always like been like, you know what, like if you're going to play well, like you need to get on the ball, you need to be free, like have fun with it. So I think that's something I've always kind of kept with me, but I started to play more like that after I like because I tore my Achilles in 2019. That was like kind of a really big injury and after that I just told myself that like I was going to play like and like have fun with it. Like I feel like soccer can be so stressful and like honestly sometimes daunting and I forget sometimes like I do it because I love it and I think once it was taken away from me I was like why did I put so much pressure on myself like when it's supposed to be fun. And I know that's like a really hard thing, I think we all do that, but that's something I always try to remember.
Yeah, I love that you just said that. We just had Janine Becky on, and she actually talked exactly about the same thing. She's still out with her ACL right now, and she was like, I wish that like I could take this missing the game and this like gratefulness that I know I'll have when I can finally play again. I wish I could make that last forever and that everybody could have it, because it really is like you have a totally different perspective when you come back from injury and you've been apart from the game.
For sure.
That clearly can like really help you with your approach.
Yeah, and I really just try to have fun with it and like make it enjoyable, because that's when I think we all play our best, is when we're like doing what makes us special and having fun.
Yeah, I feel like if I could give advice to anybody, I want people to have that feeling too. Like, I hope you don't ever have to go through an injury, anybody. But it's like, it seems as though people that have gone through the injury, they have that same feeling every single time. Like every person I talk to says that. So if you haven't had injury yet, just remember, like, you're play because it's fun and you enjoy it, and it's supposed to be fun. At the end of the day, it is a game. I have a random question though. Do you have high calves?
Do I have high calves?
I feel like every person who's told me that they tore their Achilles, I look at their calves and I'm like, you have high calves.
I don't think so.
Show me your calf.
Well, Lynn is going to be looking at your calves next time she sees you.
I'll flex them for you.
Yeah.
I have no calves. Like,
oh, maybe that's another category.
That'll do it.
Maybe Okay, I want to also tell a funny story, because me and Sav do sit next to each other in the meetings at the national team. And obviously she'd never been there. We had never been in a camp together. I was injured the year before. I think you got invited to a camp before. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I can't remember when. Whatever. So I'm asking you, I'm like, Sav, like, this is incredible. Obviously, we had just got equal pay. So I'm like, this, for me as well, I'm like, we're getting more money than we were expecting because we just won this lawsuit. I go, are you going to buy anything to like celebrate this huge achievement that you've gotten? And you look at me and you say, well, I really want a new bag, but I also want to buy a house. And I was like, what? I was like, those two categories are so far away from each other.
She's like, I have no idea how much we're going to make, so I'm preparing myself for two scenarios.
Yeah, it's exactly. Like both. Like,
I know. I was like, can you just get both? Like, if you're going to buy a house, can you just also buy the bag? I get, like, I don't know. I was just like, Sav, what is happening? And I think that was our first like actual conversation.
That was our first conversation, but our first interaction was, I was so nervous. Because we had just found out we made the team.
Yeah.
And then we played each other, remember, in Louisville. And I was scored. Like, that was the weirdest goal I've ever, like.
I was like, damn you and your stupid foot.
That was the weirdest thing. And I was so nervous to come say hi. And so you came up and said hi.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
and I was
nice,
like,
Lynn.
She's so nice. I was like, yes, okay.
Well, I just was like, hey, Sav, and because it hadn't been announced yet either, but I knew. So I was like, secretly being like, hello, like, nice to meet you, congrats.
Yeah, and then we gave each other a hug, and I was like, oh, okay, I have one friend now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, girls, that was very cute. Sav, so you have now been to this, you were at the September camp after the World Cup. How are you feeling about the national team moving forward? Like, the Olympics is next year.
Yeah, I'm feeling very confident. I think the camp we just had, like, it was really nice. I kept telling people, I'm like, because after World Cup was over, we all just left.
Mm-hmm. And it was so weird. It was
felt
so
like
weird.
I had no closure. It was like, you know, when like you have a breakup and there's no closure and you just constantly are thinking about it. And I feel like we got to camp and we all like were talking. I remember me, Lynn, I think Alana and So Fuerta, we talked for like 2 hours after dinner, just like how we were feeling. And I was like, oh, it was so nice talking to people that like experienced it, that went through the same experience. So after we had like our debrief, it felt like closure, and I felt just so much like a weight lifted off my shoulders personally.
Yeah, I agree. But like, do you feel like, because I felt like we're in such like a weird time. We are coming off the World Cup and not doing how we wanted to do. We had our debrief, and I thought that was very important for us to close a chapter, and then now we can like move forward. But we have a temporary coach. So like, how do we like move forward? But the team at the same time, I thought like our vibes were good. Like, everybody seems great and like ready and hungry to move forward.
Yeah.
What would you like to see in a coach? How do you feel about yourself personally? Like, what is your vision for the team moving forward? And like, the Olympics is, what is it, like 8 months? Not 8 months, 10 months away. Like, I can't
when you
math.
just said 8 months, I was like,
But like 10 months away, that's not. And then you count how many camps are for that, and they're like getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, I think Like, I just thought in the last 2 games, I only played in the second game, but I just felt like we all played more free.
Yeah.
And like we had a structure, but then Twyla allowed us to be like do what makes us special within that structure.
Yeah.
And I even think you, Lynn, like you were able to do what you do that makes you special. And I think it just allowed us to play more freely and confidently. So I think moving forward, just allowing us to do that and like having consistency, whether it's like who we play with, like the trainings, I think that is going to help us just because of the tight turnaround.
I agree. And I felt like there was more communication on the field because everybody felt like they could be themselves and play freely. There was so much more communication on the field of like, what can you do to help me? How can we solve this problem? I remember in the first game, because it was a formation change that we're not necessarily always used to, like we were playing with 2 6s instead of one. And so naturally, normally Lindsay like wants to drop down and get the ball. But I'm like, well, we need you higher right now because we have 2 6s. And I think like me being able to say that to her, Sonnet saying that to her, like she can look at me and say like, Lynn, I need you to get wider, stuff like that I don't know if it was happening at the World Cup as much. I agree. I just felt like it was way more free. I do think that we have to have a couple more steps, like build upon this, but it was like a nice first camp.
Yeah, and I think it was good that we were scoring goals too.
Yeah.
Like, I think just feeling like getting that like final touch with things like helped us tremendously like in that, because I just feel like in the World Cup that was our thing. We were like, we're not scoring.
Yeah.
So I think being able to do that and like work on the final, because I think we did a lot of final third stuff in camp. So it was nice to like work on that stuff. And I think playing Colombia is just going to be like an even, like they're a really, really good team. So I think it's going to be a good challenge for us to kind of see where we're at.
Let's transition from the national team to the NWSL. First of all, this year is wild. Like it's been a crazy year. How has the transition back from the national team been? This is obviously your first like full year with the team. I feel like my first full year, I was like, what is happening? When do we get a break? Every time we go into camp, they're getting a break. When do I get a break? Like how have you been able to like adjust back?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think my rookie year last year, I got that sense of like, oh, okay, when everyone went to international duty, like I got to go to the lake or I got to go home and like hang out. And it's so nice. But yeah, I think it's just been it's like mentally hard. I think coming back from World Cup was really difficult for me. I didn't get a lot of time off. I kind of came straight back and played in that LA game, which was fine. And I wanted to be back with my team and be there for my team. But I do think like just the shift of mentally and then kind of also dealing with like the heartbreak of not doing as well as we wanted to. I thought I was going to be like fired up and like going to play so well and be like, oh my God, like I'm on fire. But I actually felt the opposite. I felt so like I lost the ball and I was like, I almost started crying. I was like, what is wrong? Like, and I just think it was like so much emotion that I hadn't like really processed through yet. It's definitely been difficult, but it's so much better now. And I think like even after this camp that we had, like I feel so much more like free and like I've dealt with the emotions of it.
Yeah, that's so interesting that you say that. I think this is something that doesn't get talked about a lot, that actually Lynn and I have talked about kind of the post-tournament blues a little bit. Like win or lose, it's been a huge energy taking experience. Like no matter how you do in the tournament, you have planned your whole life around this event for years. And then being there and being kind of on display all the time and being on 24/7 for weeks is really exhausting, no matter how well or poorly you do in the tournament. So I think that time period after tournaments is crucial to like come to terms with things and recover and rest. And I think Lynn and I know exactly what you mean. You want to get right back to your team because it's your team and like you love them and you want to support them. And I feel like all of us need to like also just consider that we have to take care of ourselves so we can be our best version for our team. But it's just such a hard time to do that and to prioritize that because you want to be back in that kind of environment, like with your girls.
Yeah. And I just feel like I miss it. Like I miss like our hotel. Like I miss like the schedule we had and like the city we were in. Like it's just like all the little things about like being with the team. Like we would do a cheers every night and like I just kind of miss like the whole team being together. So it's just like a sad thing that I had, or like we all had to go through. And I thought to help like going back right into soccer would like be the best thing. And I don't really think it was the best thing.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys did a cheers every night at the World Cup?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
We drew like a name out of a hat or out of a bag. I don't even know what it was. And Lindsay, the nutritionist, would have like a healthy shot for us. It was like a different kind of shot every night. And so somebody would have to like, it was their night to do a cheers. And some of them were just like, all right, cheers. But then they got like longer
so long.
and longer. And it was like some people put a whole presentation together to like show us.
Oh my gosh, you guys! This is the first time hearing of this. This is fascinating information.
I forgot. Like,
wait, Lynn, did you go? I never went.
I never went either.
Okay.
Wait, you never went to what?
Well, because it was the whole team and the whole staff. So like I never got a turn to go.
So you never got to say your cheers.
Yeah.
I understand.
I was so nervous. I was like, I do want to do one, but I was like, like maybe like at the end, maybe. I was just like really scared in the beginning to get picked.
Oh my gosh. I feel like the beginning would have been the easiest. Like as they went on, they were getting better and better. And I was
That's
like, like I don't want to.
No, there was one. I don't know whose it was, but there was a presentation and it was like so many stats about our team. And
yeah, I think it was AJ. Naturally. AJ
and it was really good, but I was like, wow. I was just gonna say like, I'm having a blast with you guys. Like, cheers.
Go USA.
Go USA.
Wow. Thank you guys for sharing that. That was like really great. Sav, we only have time for a couple more questions, but I did just want to ask how your time at Louisville has been like, so you've put such a stamp on being there. How much do you credit your role on that team and the club for like the trajectory of your career?
Yeah, I think my rookie year, we had a really good rookie year or rookie class. It was like me, Jalen, a couple other girls, and the coach relied heavily on us. So I think I had to mature and like take that step from the college level to like pro like very quickly. So I credited a lot to like my staff and my teammates. They gave me a lot of confidence to be me day in and day out. And it's just so like refreshing. Like it really just feels like home. And it's just so comforting being here. So I do credit a lot of my success to my club and my teammates.
So like, are you going to stay there for the off season or like, what are your off season plans?
It gets so cold here and I don't think they have a lot of indoor facilities. So I think I will be going back to California just for the weather. And I didn't get to go home all year. So I do miss my family and my dog. So
yeah, get on home. What do you like to do at home? You're from Southern California, right?
Yeah, I'm from Long Beach. So I live pretty close to the beach. So I do a lot of stuff by the beach. And I have 2 younger sisters that are like my best friends. So we always are doing stuff together with our dog and all that.
Do you like surf?
I do surf.
Nice.
Oh.
I'm not good at it, but I do like to go out. And we like to go to Hawaii a lot because, it's just such a quick flight from California. Yeah. So I'm going there during the off season.
Fun. You're going to surf.
And I'm going to New York for New Year's.
Oh, fun.
So speaking of cold weather.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You have some fun plans.
Those are my only 2
traveling
trips.
Around. All right. So last hard-hitting question that we have for you. Did you get the bag or the house?
I got the house.
Yay! Yay! Is that where you are right now?
No.
No.
I don't have Wi-Fi yet.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Geez, basically me neither. My Wi-Fi is terrible.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, because the Wi-Fi is paid by the club here. So I'm like, oh, like I actually have to start paying for like Wi-Fi and like utilities and all that, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's so exciting. We're really happy for you.
Sam, where's your house?
In Boston. I don't know why I stumbled over that. It's in Boston.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Thanks. That's where I'm from.
Oh, wait. And that's cool that they're making a team there too. Are you excited about that?
It's so cool. Yeah, it's very exciting. I think I've seen like some of the plans for the stadium and everything seems like it's going to be awesome.
Oh, did you play on Boston Breakers?
No, but Christy, my sister played.
Christy did. Oh, that's right. Okay.
For the Breakers, I think for 2 or 3 seasons actually.
Where's the stadium going to be built?
It's actually not far from my house. It's in, I want to say like it's in Roslindale or Jamaica Plain. I know like where it is on a map, but I don't know actually which town it's in.
It's actually just in my backyard.
Yeah.
I'm the owner.
Yeah. That would be sick. Okay, Sav, we have kept you for long enough. Thank you so much for coming on next. We only need from you. Why am I mixing up all my words?
I don't know.
I've
given you the word.
Oh my gosh. The only thing we need from you is a chomp.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
That was a good one.
Nailed it.
Wait, was that a good one?
Yeah, it was great. Okay, everybody, welcome back to Snacks delivered by Grubhub. Thank you to Savannah DeMelo for coming on the show. What a great interview. Sad news, we are actually taking a week off next week. Lynn's in camp. It's a busy time, et cetera, et cetera. No excuses, but we wanted to get a couple of your questions in now. So here is the Snacks hotline.
Hi, Lynn and Sam. It's Nellie calling from Denver, Colorado. With the final regular season games and retirement celebrations, I've just been thinking a lot about the careers and legacies of Megan Rapinoe and Allie Krieger.
Oh.
So my question for you is, what impact have Megan Rapinoe and Allie Krieger had on you both as players and as people? Are there any lessons from playing alongside them that you're taking with you? And what will you miss about having them as teammates? Thanks. Love y'all. Love the show. Here is my chomp.
She combined chomp with, she did a chomp.
I didn't hear her chomp.
It was
she
a
say
chomp. Yeah, she said.
No. No way.
Yes, she did.
Here is my chomp.
Oh
yeah,
my
that was
God,
creative
she
of her.
totally did.
That was creative.
That was
I
kind
kinda
of
like
wild. You're here for it?
I mean, nobody else has done that ever in the history of ever. So,
And yeah, literally in the history of the world, I think. What impact did Pinoe and Krieger have on me as a player and as a person? Wow. I think I'll say two things separately. Pinoe, I feel like, has had such a strong impact on everybody off the field. Like, I think she has been like such an emblem of like standing up for what you believe in and being vocal about what's important. And I think that like she is like such an inspiration to so many of us in that regard. And then when I think about Krieger, I always feel like Krieger's like really listening when we talk. Like, I just feel like she's such a good person and she's just really cares about what you're saying and like wants to make you feel heard and wants to make you feel like she cares. And she just has always struck me as like such a genuine and like kind person, even though like she's like famous and like has all this stuff going on, and she just really listens when you talk. And I just feel like that she makes you feel so like heard and seen.
I agree. With Pinoe, same. I think that she just is so authentically herself, which allows you to be authentically yourself. No matter if you love her, hate her, whatever, she's just like, this is who I am, but also will stand up for anybody. I also just think that on the field, she has such a brilliant soccer mind. And obviously we played the same position. So I was able to go to her a lot and ask her like, well, what happens when this goes on and what all that stuff, and just like to hear some of her questions in film. I was like, I didn't even think about that, but so like I just felt like she just like held the standard so high in the soccer regards. So she's definitely going to be greatly missed. And then Krieger, same. I think that I'm going to say something different because I 100% agree with what you said.
I know I stole two answers.
She's so famous all the time and she had so much success, but I think that watching her go through those 2 years not getting called into the national team and pour her heart and soul into her club team and just kind of be okay with where she was at. Obviously she didn't want that to be happening to her, but recognize that she needed to be there for her club team. I think that that's something that's really hard to do, and also it's something that she could have been like, what made a huge stink about it, and she didn't. She just kind of got on with it. And I think that that's like super inspiring and kind of taught me too that sometimes life doesn't go how you want it to go, and you just have to like move on and get on with it. And so I just think that she's just like so genuine and gives lessons without even know she's giving lessons, if that makes sense.
I totally agree. I think Krieger is one of the like OG players that was like, club soccer matters so much to me. And I think maybe that started when she went and played in Germany, and she has experience all over the world. And I think she's just always said, even if I'm not on the national team right now, that does not mean, it has no reflection on how much this club team means to me and how much I'll do for them. And she's not just doing things to get on the national team. She like loves her club team so much. And I feel like that is the kind of attitude that carries women's soccer forward as the NWSL grows and as more and more players like start to come through this league. Like, your club team matters so much, and Krieger kind of was one of the players that really showed that so early on in the league.
Yeah. I feel like super lucky to have been a part of both of Pinoe's and Krieger's career. And I feel even more lucky that I'm able to be on the same team with Krieger now, because obviously with Pinoe, I had played with her a lot on the national team, but not so much Krieger. And so to get to know her as a human outside of soccer at the club level, like I just feel really lucky.
The other thing now I want to say about Pinoe is that like she just is like down to laugh and like clown around and like in such a stressful environment. I've had some conversations with Pinoe like during the 2019 World Cup and after where I was just like, how are you doing this? And she was kind of just like, who, like, you just have to approach things with some like humor and like levity that like she brings joy and humor and is like able to laugh at herself and able to lighten the pressure for everybody else around her in those like crazy moments. And I like think that that's so important as a teammate, but off the field, it's so important too, to just have those kinds of people in your life that like can make you laugh and just be like, it's really not that serious. Like, it's fine.
I know. I think she's so good at that, being like, this is my job. This is like incredible. I'm doing that stuff. But like, let's just have a little giggle.
I love that. Well, I freaking just love them both. The game will miss them. We will miss them so much. But hopefully we are all lifelong friends. We freaking better be.
Freaking better be. But it's not done yet.
I know. I freaking know.
Let's do another one. That was such a good one.
Hi, I'm Ashley. And this is Taylor. And we're best friends who live across the country from each other and stay connected by watching your games and listening to this podcast together.
Cute.
We love it and would love to know, what was the moment that you two knew that you needed to be close friends? We love your podcast, and thanks for keeping us connected. And now, here are our chomps.
I think we got 3 chomps out of 2 girls. Well, thank you, Ashley and Taylor. That was very cute, and I love it. What was the moment, Lynn, you knew you needed to be my close friend?
I wasn't a one moment. It was gradual, I think.
I know.
When we and Sam have known each other for a very long time, and we should insert that picture that I sent you the other day where we are fighting for the ball, both playing. I'm at Pepperdine and she's at UCLA. It's so funny. But we were on the same team in Western New York, but we were like not friends. And then we moved to North Carolina and we were the 2 allocated players. So that meant we had to like pay for our own housing.
So we were roommates because we like weren't in the team roommate system.
Yeah, exactly. So we were like, we know each other. We're not like great friends. We're not friends, but we're like not great friends. And we had a camp before we were moving in together and we kind of started to get to know each other there. Don't you think?
I don't specifically remember the camp, but I do find it so funny that like we got so much closer when we started living together, when we had been teammates and like acquaintances for years beforehand and like didn't really ever seek each other out. And then like for whatever reason, I just think we started living together and like babbling away every night and like trying to make blueberry crumble and failing.
I know.
It was just like,
it
was just so
babbling.
fun.
Literally babbling away. I like remember this one time where it must have been you and Abby doing something. And I was saying to people, I was like, oh, they're just like not my people. And then like a year later, I was like, oh, those are my people.
Like, do you want to know what I remember? I remember we had the same agent and I remember he asked me how it was living with you. And I was like, oh my God, it's so great. Like, I love Lynn. Like, this has been the best thing. Like, I'm so happy we're living together. And then I went like, why? Like, how did she say it was? And he goes, she said it was fine. And I was like, what? Did she not love me?
No, that I meant it in a like, it's really good. I just think that you're more animated than I am. So I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's going fine. Anyways, I don't think there was a one moment, but like, I don't even know. Cause like the next year we could have like not lived together and we were like, oh no, we're like gonna live together again.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh no, this is my like life roommate.
Yeah. Like if I had, and this is like a lot coming from me, and you should know this, like if I had to have another roommate that isn't Marley, like I would pick you.
Oh, that's so nice.
I would like go back. Like I miss it sometimes. Like when I'm sitting in my apartment by myself, it's so sad.
I know. I miss it too. I miss like just hanging out. But we do have weekly appointments for snacks, and I'm very grateful for that. Okay, those were incredible questions and they spawned minutes upon minutes of incredible conversation. So thank you guys so much for calling those in. If anybody else has a question, you can still call us at 917-565-9531. Just call. It is the thing to do. Next week on the podcast, sadly, you guys, as I said before, there is no podcast next week.
So listen to old ones.
Yeah, go back, listen to an old one, watch the U.S. Women's National Team, watch the NWSL. We will be back. We have a scheduled interview with Abby Wambach, which we are very excited about. Feel like that's a pretty cool, like, A-list guest to get.
We're really cool.
We're very cool. It's a very cool podcast. So don't forget to rate and review it wherever you listen to it, like this one from Crip0807 that says, I look forward to Thursdays to be uplifted and entertained by Lynn and Sam. Their guests are interesting, and it is wonderful to learn different sides of these amazing women. Keep up the good work, and thank you. No, thank you, Crip0807. One last thing, Lynn.
If you guys know of good coffee shops in Utah, please send those in.
Okay. Good luck. I
That's
hope you find one. Okay, everybody, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts. Snacks is produced by Jay Wolf, Patrick Godino, Parker Fenton, and John Murray. For more great women's sports content, go to justwomensports.com and be sure to follow Just Women's Sports on all your favorite channels. I'm Sam Mewis.
And I'm Lynn Williams, and you've been listening to Snacks delivered by Grubhub.
Isn't it hard?
It's so
I did
bad.
it so good the first time, and now I can't do it again. Okay, bye.
As a reminder, State Farm is a proud supporter of Snacks and a proud supporter of women's soccer and all other women's sports.
By ensuring coverage for female athletes today, State Farm helps set the stage for women's sports tomorrow. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.